And welcome back to the Daily Wrap. I'm Joe Concha, joined by my co-host Rick Unger, and filling out the panel, Rothman Hansen from left to right. The latest Hillary Clinton email document dump is revealing senior White House officials were aware of her private email address as early as 2009. Yet senior advisor David Axelrod played dumb when talking about her server last month on MSNBC, where he said he knew nothing about it.
What do you think about Bill Daley not knowing about the server? Is that unusual? Is that an issue?
Well, I think it is unusual. He was the chief of staff. I confess I didn't, I was there. I was the senior advisor. I didn't know that.
So if you did find out when you were there, if you did find out when you were there, would you say, hey, whoa, wait a minute, guys, should we all talk about this? Would you flag it?
I might have asked a few questions about that.
Wow, that's like watching The Sixth Sense the second time, where you know Bruce Willis is dead, and you're like, oh, I can see all the times when you could totally tell he's lying there. But if I was watching that at the time, then I wouldn't have known. Anyway, back to prompter. Emails show that Axelrod and then White House Chief of Staff Rahm Emanuel both asked Clinton aides for her email address. Rick, these emails are the gift that keep on giving for some opponents of Mrs. Clinton, and you have been fair about this. At first you said it's not really making a difference, but now is the steady drip, drip, drip having an effect on Mrs. Clinton's overall chances?
It could. Until we see another candidate emerge, then no.
On the Democratic side?
On the Democratic side, because I just don't think at this point that there's anybody to challenge her. But I got to tell you, I have some serious questions now. Mainly because I'm seeing, she said from the start that none of these emails were classified. That was a very important statement.
Right.
Now we're seeing emails being classified. That signals something to me that could be very distressing. If it turns out that she shared information with anybody who she was talking to that was classified, that brings a very different spin to this, and it's very troublesome.
Sure. Is it criminal, however? It could be. Okay.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, we saw General Petraeus charged when ended up, coming to some resolution. But yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of what she's done that it could be criminal. Will anything be pursued? Who knows? But I think that there's a lot of what she's done with regard to with the emails that arguably is criminal, and I think that there's more to come.
Noah, clearly you think this is much ado about nothing.
Yeah. On the record.
That's an idiom. Maybe it's not. Go ahead.
Why this gets to another level now is this tranche, and it's only one tranche of several that are going to come out as a result of a court order. This indicates that a whole lot of official Washington knew about this, very closely knew about this. David Axelrod defended himself today on Twitter. He said, I didn't know about the server. Of course I knew about the email. I always said I knew about the email. That's a very lawyerly evasion. It's actually immaterial. The issue here is that she was evading Information Act requests by keeping these on a private email, one of three that we're aware of now. We're talking about people who knew this include Axelrod, Senator Barbara Mikulski, John Podesta, Neera Tanden over at the Center for American Progress. There's probably a variety of reporters. There's probably a lot more to come. We don't know how many people knew about this email, but I think it was a lot more than we're letting on. And that's when it starts to become an issue. It's no longer Hillary Clinton's issue. It's Washington's issue.
Rick, I think the issue is, and we talked about this before the show, that the people that could have all of the emails, including the ones that Mrs. Clinton supposedly purged, could be a foreign government that doesn't like us very much and could use it to blackmail.
This has always been the concern, about the whole private server, is that if somebody got their hands on it, they could do a lot of damage in terms of blackmail. Look, I read an interesting piece today where somebody, and honestly I forget who it was, but it was somebody who mattered, basically said that they can't say if her server was more secure than the government's. It might be a little less secure, but we've learned that the government isn't all that secure either.
You think people didn't know about the server, and therefore, in other words, no one really knew about it, right?
No, but I'm not sure hackers need to know. I don't know how they go about doing it. It is touchy, but I'm even less concerned about that. I'm very concerned at this point about these emails that were not supposed to be classified, or this was the statement, turning out to be classified now. I'm very concerned about that, and as I said to you before the show, I said the good news is, if she is elected president, she has the power to pardon herself.
Pardon me?
She has the power to pardon herself.
Pardon me?
That's going to be your next book.
Pardon me, you get it. That's called wordplay. Yes. Anyway, the 3,000 emails released by the State Department overnight also showed that Clinton got lots of advice from longtime friend Sid Blumenthal. Meanwhile, dozens of emails released by the State Department last night are now being labeled as classified. That's contrary to what Mrs. Clinton said originally. But after reviewing the emails, the State Department decided the information was too sensitive and should be classified. Could this be a problem for Hillary Clinton that sensitive documents were sent on private, less secure email servers? Noah Rothman, we discussed this a little bit more, but I do want to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, it should be. I'm not entirely sure whether or not it's her server that's at issue here when it comes to her personal BlackBerry. In March, Politico reported that the BlackBerry was going to be less secure than her home servers, and she takes that with her abroad, which makes it even more susceptible to being hacked. So I think it is going to be a significant issue.
Very good. Well, let's get to... Finally, we want to highlight some of the more amusing revelations from Mrs. Clinton's emails. Let's see what we got here. For starters, doesn't know how to operate a fax machine. She thought the phone needed to be off the hook. She also randomly told Obama advisor John Podesta to wear warm socks to bed. Well, that's not really anything we should be talking about.
It's about her friend.
Actually, never wear socks to bed. I don't. Do you?
Well, no, but he might have been sick.
Okay, very good. Another email reveals she met several times with someone she referred to as Santa. Maybe that was a code name. Yeah, I wonder if that
maybe it was Santa.
Yeah, or
she is a high government official.
I know, she's connected.
Very good point. And she also used email to have her aide get her iced tea. Finally, there was Paul Begala, who said that he actually, that one was the best one, because he actually sent an email to the State Department saying, what should I say when I'm grading
Somebody
Mrs.
should
Clinton?
write about that.
Somebody should, exactly.
You know?
And then he gave her an A+ on CNN based on what they told her, and then he actually went back to the State Department and said, hey, I gave her an A+, just an FYI. So Begala had to explain it to Jake Tapper today. That was fun. Anyway, what do you think about Mrs. Clinton's emails? Let us know. Go to newsmaxtv.com/comments. We'll be back in just a moment.